Welcome to Sheffield for the first game of Sunday's play. This one pits the under-16 semi-final, the first one between the Southern Conference winners Chelmsford Rattlesnakes against the Northern Conference runners-up Manchester Storm. Chelmsford are last season's playoff champions, while Manchester are making their first ever appearance at the playoff finals. So, ones to look at for Chelmsford then. Isabella Zizinska leads the team in scoring. She has 25 points this season. Freya Price just behind her on 24. Cara Jones on 21. All of those have senior experience. Matilda Howe, or Tilly Howe as she likes to be called, is next on the list with 12. In goal is number 2, Lilith Wright. Summer Basing and Zinnia Quilt are also ones to look out for. As for the Manchester Storm then, they are led by Alexandra Vajvexi, a half-Hungarian player. She leads the team with 18 points, 16 goals, followed by half-Finnish player Emmi Kariainen with 13 points, 10 goals and 3 assists. Ava Eyre is next on the list with 11, while Lockie Labelle and Nicole Rainey also have chipped in with some points this season. Kariainen is captain, so she's one to look out for, while Caitlin Labelle is the starting goalie. Both teams currently just having their pre-game huddles, and puck drop will be underway very shortly. So this is Chelmsford's third straight appearance here at the playoffs. They were runners-up 2 years ago in the league and lost at the semi-final stage to what was the eventual champions, the Kingston Diamonds, but gave them a very good game throughout. And then last season they were champions, having beaten the London Capitals. Well, they're here to defend their crown, and they're backed in the crowd by support, which is always fanatical, always good to see, always a lot of fun. But a lot of the parents dressed up as dinosaurs, and they arrived into a rink to the theme tune of Jurassic Park. So a lot of fun there going on pre-game. As for Manchester, as we say, this is their first ever appearance. They just beat out the local team, Manchester Storm. The Sheffield Shadows even, to finish second behind runaway champions Whitley Bay Beacons. But the Storm pushed the Beacons probably as close as anyone has this season, when they come away with just a 2-goal defeat at Whitley Bay. So that represents quite a good result against what was a dominant team this season. So we shall see how this one plays out. And we are underway early on. It's carried in by the Rattlesnakes and Cara Jones, who will be operating down this left wing side. We saw her in action yesterday playing for Guildford Lightning. That one's going to be covered up early on by Lilith Wright. Again, we saw her playing for Streatham last night, so that's a very quick turnaround, having played last night and then not getting much sleep, I would imagine, from that game finishing and being back at the rink early doors today. So a quick change at centre for the Rattlesnakes. They can boast a number of coaches on their bench, but the one that stands out is Connie Feidler, who scored in the final last year. Oh, that's a great opportunity, that, as the Rattlesnakes advanced on goal. Collected beyond the back of the net. It is the Chelmsford side who are doing most of the running right now. We're asking the questions. These are only 15-minute periods at under 16 level, so it will be a shorter game than what we've been used to across the weekend. This is the first of the 2 semi-finals. The second one will see the Whitley Bay Beacons take on the Bristol Puppies, and that's in! Manchester taking the lead. What an emphatic finish that was. And a minute 11 in, and Manchester take the lead. Well, Chelmsford probably come into this game as favourites, being the defending champions. Manchester not caring about reputations. They've taken the lead here. Wow, what a start. It starts deep in their own zone. Carried out, there's a challenge over on that far side. And then advance towards goal, use the defender as a screen. What an emphatic finish that was. And the Storm with a 1-0 lead. Manchester will enter the zone. Morena on this near side. Isabella Morena and Cara Jones, who looks like she's centering this line. So a couple of the girls will be double shifting for the Rattlesnakes. Controlled over in the corner, work back to the point. And a shot coming in from Christina Powell, one of the top young defenders in the league, plays for England under 15s. She's half finished as well. Shot comes in, that's a big save. And Chelmsford looking for an instant response then. First save of the game for Caitlin LaBelle. Going to face off over on the far side. It's controlled inside the Manchester zone. Storm not able to clear. Now they will. And Chelmsford trying to sustain that pressure early on. And so they did get off to a strong start early on and were playing on the front foot, but it's Manchester who, with their first real meaningful attack, took the lead. Comes out the zone once more, so Chelmsford having to retreat. Carried in on that far side, but Manchester regained possession. Tilly Howe working it out the corner. Ava Adamson coming in off the bench. She's one of the top defenders for the Rattlesnakes, who did see a number of their players age out, most notably the whole of their top forward line. So in that respect, perhaps you would expect them not to be as strong as last season, but it is a conveyor belt of production, really, in terms of the quality coming through the club. And Chelmsford having to defend early on here then. That one will clear the zone. That will force Kari Ainen, the captain of the Storm, to track back. Tried to set up in the low slot for Izzy Zizhinska. Comes back to her again, but picked off. This is her third playoff finals appearance for Rattlesnakes. That's going to be a penalty on Ava Adamson. So Manchester going on the power play. Storm with a good opportunity to double their lead. That is James Waddington in that suit, who was the team manager last season. His daughter Kira was the goalie. She's since aged out and plays senior hockey for Chelmsford Cobras and the Guildford Lightning. We saw her in action yesterday when she came on in relief of Marley Easton towards the end of that semi-final with Solihull, and Lilith Wright having to juggle the puck there a little bit to get it away. It's a bit like the slippery soap and she got it away, but Chelmsford advance up the ice and will use the opportunity to kill off some of the clock. Interference was the call then on Ava Adamson. Shot comes in from the high slot, and it's Chelmsford creating the chances, and there's a short-handed goal and the equaliser. Cara Jones, I think it was, with the final touch. And, well, both goals coming against the run of play, you'd have to say. Storm taking the lead when Chelmsford were in the ascendancy, and now the Rattlesnakes equalising while short-handed. Controlled over on that right wing side. Zizhinska and Jones it was who exchanged passes. Jones has shot from the high slot, big rebound, and it was Izzy Zizhinska who put home. So Chelmsford using the opportunity to draw back level then, despite being a player short. And I thought we were going to get a second call just then, but I think we're just going to have a face-off at centre ice instead. But what a great start to his first semi-final then. Just over 4 minutes in, 2 goals, 2 good goals as well. And the under-16 games always do provide great competitive action. Freya Price. Nice hands there from the youngster to stick handle her way in. Manchester really being forced back here. And looking to try and get out the zone. They can't do so right now. And I say since going on the penalty kill, it's Chelmsford who have probably been the stronger side. Zinnia Quilter shot through traffic and it's in. I don't know if there was a redirect in front of a net, but it was Quilter's shot. And just like that, the Rattlesnakes are ahead and they've converted twice. Short-handed, there's still 44 seconds left. We saw this when the Queen Bees and Louise Adams did this in the elite semi-final against Whitley Bay yesterday. Well, Chelmsford repeating the trick. Here's Quilter's shot from distance. It might have come off the Manchester player. I think that's Quilter's goal. Looked like it came off a glove. So it should go down as her goal unless they'll deem it as it came off a Rattlesnakes glove. But to me, that looked like it was off a Manchester player. But either way, it was Quilter's shot from distance which caused all the problems. And just like that, the reigning champions are back in the lead. Or have moved ahead, I should say. Their first lead of the game. Nice work out the corner. Tilly Howe will chase this one down. Emmy Kariainen will get there first. Tilly Howe putting her under pressure. Shot comes in and it's in, it's 3. They've scored 3 times on this power play. 9 seconds left and having entered it, a goal down and a player short, they're now 2 goals up. This is incredible. See again, the Manchester defence put under pressure. Tilly Howe on the forecheck there. Forced a turnover, collected over on the far side. And as she cut in off the right wing boards, let fly, and that is a fantastic finish. Going top shelf where Mama keeps her best cookies. And that one, certainly one of the highlights of the weekend so far. So I can say now that the power play has ended. Chelmsford back to full strength, but Rattlesnakes might be asking Ava Adamson to take another penalty if that's what happens. 3 goals, playing 1 short. And it has gone down as Zinnia Quilter's goal. And Freya Price gets the assist. It was her pass back to that right wing position along the boards, which set up the shooting opportunity. Powell will control. Christina Powell, as I say, one of the exciting young defenders in the game. Carver Jones will carry forward. She's got Isabella Morena outside her. It's still with Jones right now. Powell behind. They'll switch it over to the far side. There's a player in space here. Shot comes through. Turned aside by LaBelle. And the puck battle continues up along these near boards, and then it comes loose once more with Manchester in control behind the back of the net, but put under a lot of pressure as she tries to carry out. Now Manchester will enter the zone. Shot gets deflected up. It was from Nicole Rainey, who has had a strong season as well this year. Shot comes in, it's floated over the top and past the outstretched glove of Caitlin LaBelle. So nothing really for her to be concerned about. Puck's cleared. It was Kariainen with the clearance. Chelmsford with a much larger bench in terms of players available. So that might help them as the game wears on. Work back to the point. Shot from Adamson. Looped up. I don't know if it took a deflection on the way through. Good toe save by LaBelle, and then she covers up the rebound. Fast action then. And we'll see the replay of it here. Back to the point. And the shot from Adamson from distance, I think it just landed and bounced right in front of LaBelle. That's what caused the initial problems. And a couple of rebounds in there. And dealt with well in the end. Back to Macy Allen, who just about keeps it inside. Well, works out the corner. Now Manchester will regain possession and look to carry out. On that far side, it's worked back now to Allen once more. Natalie Wilson's the number 10 on this left wing. This is her first shift, I believe, of the game. Tilly Howe and Freya Price completing the line. Manchester will enter the zone. Kari Einen it was who carried in, but Freya Price picks that one off, and she's got the speed to enter the zone. Cuts back inside, she's opened it up one-on-one with a goalie. Deek Seven scores, and that is a fantastic goal. And the Rattlesnakes 4-1 ahead. And that early goal they gave up a minute or so in, now being well forgotten. Freya Price with a great individual goal, forced a turnover, created the opportunity for herself, and great hands to cut inside the way she did. So we'll see it again here on this left wing side. Enters the zone, cuts inside the last defender, and that's it. Once she was one-on-one, there was no stopping her. And what a finish that was. And the Rattlesnakes with a reasonable lead at this stage. I thought they were changing the goalie. It's no, Caitlin going back to a bench, maybe just getting a quick chat. Couldn't really do much about those goals, to be fair. She's been playing well at the save she's made. There's confirmation of the goal then. Freya Price. That was a thing of beauty from Freya. That will go into the collector's item and the highlight reels. This is very much Manchester's top line out there now. Alex Vexi. Ava Eyre, who's on the puck now. And Jasmine Hodgkinson, who centres the line. Lockie LaBelle gets a shot off. Christina Powell will gather. Controlled deep in the zone by the Storm. Ava Eyre just out of her reach. And it will be chased back for an icing call. So Manchester will have to defend this face-off in their zone. A little over 5 minutes left in the period. But what an explosive start it has been to today's play then. Adamson. A break on hero for the Storm. And Hodgkinson with the effort, I think it was it Vivexi? It might have been in fact in the end. Chelmsford will re-enter the zone. Izzy Zizhinska. Forced wide. Still with Zizhinska. Trying to feed the puck forward for Beeson. LaBelle cuts across the centre red line into the offensive zone. Still with LaBelle charging forward, trying to create this opportunity for her team, driving her team forward. Freya Price charges forward again. In the end, take two players to slam the door on her there. She was almost in on goal once more. Tilly Howe, she gets blocked off low with some good defending by Jessica Burns. Freya Price enters the zone once more. Howe. And then Burns, again, who's having a really strong shift here. Bit of a coming together at centre ice. They'll enter the zone now. Manchester, but very quickly Chelmsford looking to break out. Burns though keeps the puck inside. Battle over on the left wing boards. Manchester trying to get a foothold back in the game, really, more than anything at this stage. Wilson will clear. That comes out the zone. Move on to that far side. Will be gathered in by Cara Jones. Wilson, her entry into his zone is blocked well by Hodgkinson. And well cut out. Burns will advance. Work back, Evans will clear. It will come to Flemington. Hodgkinson coming across. She'll leave it for her teammate Ruth Evans though, and then it's worked out the corner. Over on that far side, Cara Jones it is, cutting towards goal, fires over the top. Banked off the boards and sent around. Again, controlled out the corner once more, went short side and from an acute angle decided to test Caitlin LaBelle. Good stop though. It was going to take some effort to beat her from there, of course, but well, you never know. You don't buy a ticket, you won't win a raffle, and Chelmsford trying to test that theory. Zizhenska with the draw. Ava Adamson who fires from the point. That one's blocked. Manchester will look to break out here. And they'll do so with Ava Eyre. Needed a passing option, but crowded out and outnumbered more than anything as she entered the zone. Zizhenska. Hodgkinson will drop back. Manchester looking like they're playing the torpedo formation with two wingers going in, two halfbacks and then a quarterback, as it were. That's a good save by Lilith Wright, and another good save, a pad save and then the blocker on the follow-up, and then a third one there on the short side. And that was a big moment in the game because Manchester had an opportunity to cut the arrears. And Lilith Wright standing tall there to keep her side with a 3-goal lead. Kariainen with an effort, shot early through traffic, but Wright equal to it. Tilly Howe working the puck out the zone. Manchester regain possession in the neutral zone though. Nicole Rainey enters with Freya Price trying to stick with her, and Zinnia Quilter, I think it was as well, who doubled up on her. Freya Price breaks out once more. Nice drag back to split the D. She's done that before early in the game, trying to score once more. That will do it then for the first period, and what 15 minutes of action we've had then. Here's that opportunity before for Manchester. And the shot coming in, Quilter with the toe save. Then, it hit her in the chest rather than the block. I think it might have hit the blocker on the way out off the rebound. But a 4-1 lead for Chelmsford then. We're going to take a short break. Be back with you in around 5 minutes' time, so please don't go anywhere. Welcome back to Sheffield then, as we are getting ready for the start of the second period between the Chelmsford Rattlesnakes and the Manchester Storm. And the Storm, despite taking an early lead just over a minute in. Well, Chelmsford turned the game around very quickly in their favour with 3 goals whilst playing short-handed, and then adding a 4th, which sees them now in a commanding lead. Zizinska gets us back underway. And we've gone with their power line of Zizinska and Jones. Shot from Zizinska just flashes wide. And then that one bobbles up towards Caitlin LaBelle, who will hold on. And we're going to face off in the Manchester zone. That one just bouncing wide of the goal, but again testing LaBelle from distance. Zizinska working it out wide. Rattlesnakes working it back to a point now. And then Air comes across, banks it off the boards. Can't get it out of the zone, though. It's still the Rattlesnakes applying the pressure. Manchester will carry the puck out from deep. Clough will chase after that. Ava Adamson comes across. Christina Powell, Cara Jones, Hodgkinson working back, and that will be an icing call on the Rattlesnakes. So we're going to face off in the Chelmsford zone then, not quite 90 seconds played in this second period. And it's Chelmsford who come out with it, just about. That'll be sent around the boards. And Manchester having to deal with it deep in their zone. Carried out by Hodgkinson. Cuts inside, but again, well defended by Ava Adamson, who was able to get the poke check in. Comes back off the boards and collected over on that far side by Zinnia Quilter. Tilly Howell carries in, puck's just slightly behind her, but still able to enter the offensive zone. Freya Price working away well. Quilter fires in. Natalie Wilson. Manchester in possession once more. They're being forced back. A little bit more of a slower start to the one we had in the first period, but then that wouldn't be too difficult because it was a pretty explosive start that we had. Some of the fans there in the crowd, the Chelmsford contingent. They always arrive with a lot of support, very colourful, very loud, which is what you want in these games. It adds to such a great atmosphere in here. Always impressed with the Chelmsford support. Zizinska's going to chase after that one. Lovely cutback, almost stabbed home. It was a lovely setup to the low slot, but Beeson not able to steer it inside the post. Good work by Zizinska on the setup though. Nice control by Manchester behind the back of the net. Badrock comes across. Shot over on that far side. It'll be collected, sent back in, but covered up by LaBelle. They were trying to pick out Jajinska in the crease, but or near it, just outside the crease rather. But LaBelle quick to cover that one up. There's some of the Manchester support. Just about see through the netting there. Jones. Ava Air will tip it in, but carried back out by Cara Jones, who centres this line between Morena and Basing. Chelmsford will control over on this near side. And then sent around into the corner. Vivexi will gather. Manchester not really able to test the Chelmsford rear guard since taking that early lead. It's been a tide of yellow surging forward. Chelmsford will re-enter the zone, cutting back inside. Rise that challenge, cuts back onto the outside, and then well defended by Manchester. But Morena tried to get a shot off, but it was blocked by the Storm. That shot from Adamson comes in. That looped up actually on the bell. I don't know if it deflected up off the glove, but she was able to cover up in the end. Tilly Howe with the draw for Chelmsford. Action continues in the corner, and Chelmsford enjoying quite a bit of time in the offensive zone in this second period. Comfortable lead, so they don't have to take too many risks right now. Going to get a whistle here. Must admit, not quite sure what for, but it's going to be a penalty on the Rattlesnakes. Oh, it's misconduct, so perhaps something was said. Freya Price might have said something she shouldn't have done, because obviously there didn't seem anything obvious in terms of a hook or something like that. And then obviously with the misconduct call, that would suggest it was a wrong choice of language. Ava Adamson will send that one around the boards. That's going to be dumped in. Yeah, unsportsmanlike conduct is the official call, but it was a misconduct signal given by the officials, and then that's, must admit I missed that because it was right behind the rafter and our TV monitor, so I'll see if I can get a better look at it. But Manchester having a player in the box now. Here it is coming up. Jajinska, oh, just out of her reach, and then, yeah, clattered on the way through. Well off the puck. But it means we'll go to 4-on-4 for the next minute 45, so that Manchester power play is now negated, only having had 15 seconds of it. But that was a big point in the game, you feel, if they could have converted on that power play, although, of course, the last power play they had didn't end too well when they gave up 3 short-handed goals. I don't think I've ever seen that before, not in a 2-minute penalty. Powell puts it away. Chelmsford will now lead. It's almost a 2-on-1 rush here. Still with the Rattlesnakes. Good work as well by Morena, I think it was, who went in deep there up along the boards. Or was it? No, Cara Jones, sorry, it was. The leading forward, Jones and Jajinska, the two Rattlesnakes forwards, Clough and Vivexi it was for the Storm, who are now heading back to the bench. Jajinska goes for a rink-wide pass, picked off by Nicole Rainey, gets the return pass from Noakes. Looking to make something happen. Ava Adamson. Forward, Jajinska tips it and will chase down, but eased off the puck there by Hodgkinson. That's good defending from her. But we will get a face-off inside the Storm zone after LaBelle covers up. Puck controlled over on that far side. Testing LaBelle's resolve from close range, but cleared only as far as Beeson, who chases that one down into a corner. She was forced away from goal. Big wind up from Tilly Howe. Great save by LaBelle, though, and she holds on well. Get a replay of it coming up now. Chase down into the corner. And she digs it out. Howell, just look at her dropping back into a mid-slot, winds up the big slap shot. And the release forcing a save out of LaBelle. Face off then to the left of LaBelle's goal as she's looking at it. Zinnia Quilter. Oh, she's been tripped there just as she was about to pull the trigger. Had her feet taken away from her. She's got the penalty, so Chelmsford going on the power play. He started it on the penalty kill. They had 7 seconds left of a power play from that 15-second overlap. Now they will have a 5-on-3 for the next 7 seconds before it reverts into a normal power play. So Alyssa Flemington it is who will sit in the box. And we're back underway. Manchester will clear. LaBelle back out the box, so they're back to 4 skaters. Doing well, LaBelle, just trying to keep hold of the puck, preventing Jones from building. Now Jajinska will. Forced back though by LaBelle. Brought down Jajinska. Again, that might have been called. Seen them given. Pink wide pass over to Cara Jones. Picks out Jajinska from the high slot, advances, gets a shot off rebound, but it's away. But then the second rebound swept home by Izzy Jajinska, and the Rattlesnakes making light work of that power play there. And 1:05 left on it, and they put it into the back of the net for a 5-1 lead and their first goal of the period. Got a replay of it coming up here. Jones, Cara Jones it was, up along the boards, dropped past to Hodgkinson and then just fed Jajinska at the high slot. She advanced, and look at that. Forcing the rebound. Good work as well from Beeson, I think it was, to try and get onto the rebound, but then it fell back to Jajinska to just stab home. Freya Price over on the left wing side now. Cuts inside the defenders, but good recovery from Hodgkinson, who come back across.
Goal number 5 for Chelmsford.
So a 4-goal lead then for the Rattlesnakes and 5 unanswered goals, having given up that early goal in the first period. Tilly Howe, Freya Price, let's fly, but it's wide of the goal. Just over 5 minutes left in this second period. These games do move on nice and quick. At under 16 level, just a 15-minute period, they do tend to flow as well. Not a great deal of stoppages, and that one is going to be gloved by Christina Powell. So we get a face-off over on the far side, and Vivexi it is who takes a draw. Shot from distance, so that was just over the top of the outstretched glove of Lilith Wright. Ava Eyre trying to work it free from the right wing boards, but Chelmsford having plenty of numbers back, so they'll regain possession. Vivexi rides a challenge from Smith, gets a shot off. Zizhinska fends off the challenge. She ran out of real estate, tried to cut back, but then just couldn't get back onto her forehand. And then you see LaBelle with a push in the back in Zizhinska, who then falls forward into another Storm player, Evans. That was like a domino effect there. As Carver Jones races down the slot, LaBelle comes across, blocks well. Jones goes into the corner. Rides the challenge from LaBelle once more. Sets it up into the low slot. Good cover up though by Caitlin LaBelle, but afters perhaps. Crowd not liking something, but LaBelle making good use of a stick to gather that one in. We see the action here with Carver Jones digging the puck out the corner. Lockie LaBelle putting a challenge in. And then the toe save, which will then eventually see the puck getting covered up. Okay, we're going to face off, and after a bit of a delay, I wasn't sure if the officials might have called something off the back of that, but they haven't. Chelmsford will control. They have called a penalty after cross-checking. I didn't actually see her coming off the. Didn't see her coming off the ice from where we're sat, because the penalty box is right underneath us. Adamson sends it across. Shot comes in. It's blocked though by a Storm defender. Almost stabbed home, but then forced wide. Inside the final 3 minutes of his middle period then. Adamson. Basing will leave it. Shot comes in, pops up off the blocker, bounces away through the face-off circle. Jones. Jones again, fires and scores. And that one went straight through the Storm coverage there and into the net. We'll see that back on the replay. I don't know if it went under the arm of LaBelle, or it took a deflection off the glove maybe. But puck and the shot powerful enough to force its way home. See here, Rattlesnakes cycling the puck down low. Jones fires, yeah, just drilled it low underneath the glove. I think it was between the glove and the pad. 3 against 2 here. Odd player rush, nice hands. Drop pass to Howe, who fires and they score again. Straight from the face-off. Tilly Howe and Chelmsford with 1 foot in tomorrow's final now. You see here, right from the puck drop, Manchester had won the draw and was looking to advance, but stolen back, and 3 against 2. A lot of hard work done there to set it up for Howe, who steers that one home from just outside the crease. But a 7-1 lead now, Chelmsford well in control. I think Clough's just talked herself into a penalty there. Well, how she know? They're just going to change the line. I thought for a second the official was going to call something, but no, I just wanted them to change the line back to what it was. Which Clough doesn't normally play on this line. I think that's probably why the bench were trying to get the right matchup. But the officials said no. That one's just forced wide. So Isabella Jajinska gets a assist on that power play goal.
So goal 6 was scored 27 from 32 at 27-20.
Nice cut back. And cuts through the slot, shot off a backhand from Tilly Howe.
Number 13, Matilda Howie.
It's announced as Matilda Howie. She's known as Tilly Howe.
Assisted 16, Freya Price.
So Freya Price is the one who did get the assist. She was the one who did the hard work down the left wing and cut the puck back. And it was a fantastic pass, and really was the reason which set up the goal. Hodgkinson trying to clear from a deep position, but Chelmsford will advance once more. They've been ruthless in this offensive zone. Jajinska went short side, hits the outside of the goal into the netting, and Manchester trying to clear, but they're almost camped in and around the perimeter of that crease. Hodgkinson will advance. Burns will gather. Shot from distance, and that one's covered up. And we shall get a face-off then. In the Chelmsford zone. It seems some time since we last had one there. A lot of offensive zone time for Rattlesnakes in this period. Nice draw though from Flemington. The left right dealing with that effort. Jones. Carries forward, cuts back inside onto a backhand, releases his shot there, Cara Jones. He's had a really good game. Comes in, LaBelle, good save, palms it away. That one stabbed clear by Glover to Flemington. And then Hodgkinson will carry. And that will do it for the second period, and a 7-1 lead for Chelmsford now. And well, it looks like we're going to get an ice cut now. I would have assumed they would have just played on and got the game complete, but we are going to have an ice cut, which means a a 15-minute break then. And we'll be back with you shortly, so please don't go anywhere. Welcome back to Sheffield for this first under-16 semi-final of the day between the Chelmsford Rattlesnakes and the Manchester Storm. And as you can see from the caption, it is a commanding lead for the Rattlesnakes as we head into this third and final period. The reigning champions very much with one foot in tomorrow's final. That will be our first game tomorrow. Second semi-final will be coming up at the conclusion of this one. That will pit the Northern champions Whitley Bay Beacons, the only team at under-16 level to have a 100% record this year, against the Southern runners-up, the Bristol Puppies. So that's coming up for you next, but we do have 15 minutes to go in this one. And for Manchester, well, it's going to be pretty tough from here to find 6 unanswered goals. They did shock the Rattlesnakes by taking the lead, but they kind of woke them up, didn't they, by taking that lead, because Chelmsford reacted fantastically well, scoring 3 goals whilst short-handed. And, well, we are still in the stage where they're having the warm-up, as it were, following the ice cut. Apologies, my voice is starting to go. This is game 7 of the weekend for me. Essentially the midpoint, as there are 13 across the weekend. But, looking like we are getting closer to puck drop then, as Chelmsford starting 5 for this period are out on the ice, just going over to goalie Lilith Wright, while Manchester's players are heading back to the bench now, almost ready, as I say, to get us back underway. So it will be the Izzy Jajinska line out there for the Rattlesnakes, with Cara Jones alongside her. And LaBelle it is who carries it forward. Chelmsford will carry out. Manchester dumped it in early and would try to get set up in the zone, but Cara Jones very quickly advancing up the ice. Dump pass. Work back. Jones fires. Kick save. Rebound. And then Manchester defenders try to clear it. It's gone in. And it seemed like Manchester had stopped. I think they thought that the puck had been covered up, but Chelmsford carried on. And they open the scoring for a period. 41 seconds in. And it is now 8-1. Control behind the back of the net. Lovely set-up play, actually. Shot comes in. It's cleared by the defender, Evans. And then the puck coming loose and put home. We are back underway then, and Manchester will look to enter the zone with Kari Einen. Controlled along the boards. Chelmsford looking to break out with Freya Price. She's so good at that. She seems to move faster with the puck than without it. Trying to set up Tilly Howe in that low slot area once again, as she did earlier on in that second period. Cara Jones with confirmation of that goal then to make it 8-1. I think for Manchester it was always going to be tough, their first ever appearance in the playoffs. And to be fair, the Chelmsford Rattlesnakes are probably the last player you want to make your debut against, with all that experience they have. Price cutting back one way then the next, but Manchester doing well actually. They were almost getting caught on a defensive change, but that deep pairing did well to get back. as we got a whistle on the play there. But yeah, it's a huge baptism of fire, as it were, against this Chelmsford side. They have already 2 years experience coming into this weekend, and as reigning champions of the playoffs and having won back-to-back Southern Championships. So they are a formidable force in the game. And we got a whistle on the play for icing then. That will bring the face-off back down into a Manchester zone. Jajinska will control, works it back. Shot comes in, kick save. Izzy Jajinska once more. Ava Adamson switching the play out to the right wing side. Sophie Smith out there now as well. Shot from the high slot, kick save at Ava Adamson, who shot from there, from distance. And we'll get a whistle on the play then as Christina Powell will gather that one in. Face-off is brought back down to the Manchester zone. Jones will take the draw. Manchester looking to carry out. Adamson blows a tyre, but still struggling to get up. I don't know if she's damaged her blade. Actually, no, she's up okay now. Chelmsford will clear the puck out the zone. Morena will chase this one down. Hodgkinson will collect. Puck in the corner. Cara Jones got two Manchester players alongside her there, but still able to work it back out. Morena helps it on, and Jones will head back to the bench, having kept the puck moving. But Manchester back in possession now. Vivexi gets a shot off. That was a good effort, actually, using Adamson as the moving screen, but Lilith Wright had that one covered. That was as good a scoring opportunity as Manchester's created since taking the lead so early on in the game. Freya Price. Manchester will carry out. Over air. Well, that's good defensive play by Macy Allen. Manchester trying to clog up the neutral zone there and force the turnover. We're going to whistle the play there for an offside, and that will bring the play back out. See it here as Manchester will advance at this near side with Vivexi. And the shot coming, yeah, just flashed wide of the goal. We're going to face off underneath us here with Tilly Howell with the draw for the Rattlesnakes. Puck battle continues, but then Manchester will collect that loose puck now. Manchester still struggling to get any distance on the clearance, but that one's kept in from the point by the Rattlesnakes. Keeping the pressure on. And they score again. Freya Price. And that is now 9-0. We're going to replay of it coming up here. Great hands there, shielding the puck from the Manchester forecheck. Freya Price it is from out wide. Finds Tilly Howe, who fires. It's Tilly Howe with a final touch then. I thought Price might have got the final touch on it, but those two have linked up really well throughout this game. They have done a lot of the damage.
Scored by number 13, Matilda Howe. Assist 16, Freya Price. Under 35 minutes and 32 seconds. Goal line for Chelmsford scored 13 from 16 at 35.
Another shot coming in. That was a high glove save, just palmed away. Might even been actually off the fingertips of Caitlin LaBelle on that occasion. Carried out by her sister, Lucky LaBelle. Manchester forcing a save out of Lilith right there. And again, their time spent in the offensive zone has been at a premium in the second and third periods, so they're having to make good use of it. They'll get an offensive zone face-off now, which will be good to ease the pressure off them a little bit. Evans will control. Burns even, I think it was in the end. Get a little whistle on the play here. So, Vexy to take the draw against Cara Jones, and Manchester have had a good return on the face-off wins today, but Chelmsford doing such a good job of then winning the battle on the secondary phase of the play, and putting pressure on the puck handler straight away to force a turnover. Into the corner as Chelmsford looking to clear. Burns will come across to try and shut the door, but Morena releases Jones. It's almost a 2-on-0 here. Jones gets inside, shoots. Good save by LaBelle with the low glove save. She was reacting quickly there to get down there. And a good stop from her. Manchester will clear from a deep position. Vexy it was, who's really been forced back almost as a third defender. A shot from Morena. This is the mark of a good side, Chelmsford, who have really ensured that Manchester's offence hasn't been a factor for them by taking them out of the game. And Vexy, who ideally you want playing on the front foot and driving the team forward, having to do more than her fair share of work rate and getting back, and spending so much time defending deep like that means she can't operate at the other end of the ice. Chelmsford with a good effort, that's blocked. Freya Price it was who pulled the trigger. It was a fiercely driven effort, but blocked. It was right on the doorstep of a defender, and then a low drive, and again LaBelle coming up with an important save. And you do wonder what the scoreline might have been had it not been for Caitlin LaBelle. She has kept the Storm in it, really. or at least made the scoreline more respectable. That one comes across and might have come off the upper body or maybe shoulder of Lilith right there. Freya Price will break out. Cross to Howe. Poke check from Freya Price. Again, this line doing so much damage. She rings it around the boards and work back into the Chelmsford zone, but Manchester using a bit of momentum now to try and build inside the final 5 or 6 minutes. LaBelle, Lockie LaBelle I should say. Kariainen looking to break into that offensive zone, but well marshalled and defended by Summer Quilter, who just would not allow entry into there. Chelmsford will control. Jinska. That one is sent around the boards as well. Manchester will control. Jinska forward to Price, who again pulls the trigger, but it was Evans who got the block in there. Ruth Evans, who's been kept busy defensively. Izzy Szynska collects on her own blue line, will charge forward. Flemington trying to keep up with her. She's forced wide now, Szynska, and sends it towards the crease, comes back out again. Carried out, Manchester looking to advance, and it is LaBelle. Brought down there by one of the Chelmsford defenders, didn't quite see who that was, but play continues. Burns gathers. Szynska picks that one off, advances towards goal. Good save by Caitlin LaBelle. Pope checking it away. Burns. Weird. Tipped forward. And then Smith dealing with it at centre red. And down to the final 3 minutes and change. Then Szynska gets in behind, shoots and scores. And makes it look so easy. And that brings up the double figure mark then, 10-1 with 3:10 to go. And the Rattlesnakes fans and the Dinosaurs joining in the celebrations. See here, pass forward, Szynska collects, enters the zone, rides that challenge from Jessica Burns and then gets in behind and then roofs it top shelf over the glove of Caitlin LaBelle. Not much you can do about it from there. And here we go again with Cara Jones this time. This is a statement result, really. Chelmsford. Any thoughts that they might not be as strong as last season, having lost the whole of that top line who aged out over the summer? Well, this shows that they're here to come away with another trophy. And that was the hat-trick marker for Izabela Szynska. Congratulations to her. This has been the 3rd year in a row that we've been graced with her presence in these 16s playoffs. And our 4th playoff game. She will have a 5th one tomorrow, which I believe will be her final one before she ages out. And I think there will be a much more of an exodus leaving the Rattlesnakes over this summer than there was last year, so could be that this is their last shot at winning a trophy, because once all those players age out, they're going to have to essentially start again. Just look at Kingston Diamonds after they won the championship 2 years ago. They are very much into rebuild mode right now. It goes in cycles in the under-16s, and whilst you have a group of players like that, you really have to cash in, and Rattlesnakes hoping to make it 2 years in a row. No team has won back-to-back 16s playoffs championship since it was introduced. We've had 3 different winners over the last 3 years. That one comes in, and that will be covered up by LaBelle. She'll just make sure she doesn't take any chances on that. So face off over on the far side then. Shot goes high and then wide the second time. Still with the Rattlesnakes and Tilly Howe. LaBelle carries out forward. Chase down after the left right, clears and turns it aside from the net. Price steals in, forces a turnover, carries away, but nice little poke check coming in there by LaBelle. And then her sister covers up in goal. Zizzinska will come out to take the draw, possibly our last shift of the game then, with 1:09 remaining in it. That one's not quite cleared out the zone, so Manchester will have to retreat. Well, it's been a shame for them, obviously. It's not been the result they would have wanted, but they'll have some memories of this game, particularly taking the lead about 1:10 into the game. Getting here in the first place was a huge achievement, and the Storm have come a long way in a short amount of time as that one's covered up. Oh, a bit of pushing and shoving after the whistle. First time we've really seen it get really that fiery. But a reaction there. Manchester Storm protecting their goalie, and Ava Adamson it is who will go to the box, but we'll see here. Zizzinska, there'll be some sort of skates across, and then there was a lot of pushing and shoving, and I think Adamson didn't like the fact that one of her younger, smaller teammates was roughly handled like that, so she comes in with a big shove on the Storm captain, Emmy Kariainen.
Chelmsford 71, Ava Adamson, 2 minutes for roughing.
Yeah, it's roughing cool. Tempers flaring in a little bit at the end of the game. It's always difficult, I think, when it has been a one-sided scoreline like this. But going back to what I was saying before, that skirmish, it's been, say, quite the journey for Manchester, who 2 years ago was struggling for numbers, struggling to fulfil fixtures. There was a strong possibility they might not be allowed back in the 16s league the following year. They were. They consolidated last year, and then this year finished second and beat Sheffield to a playoff spot, which was remarkable. I'm sure we'll see them again in future years, but for now it still remains the Chelmsford Rattlesnakes party, and they're going to be in the final for the second year in a row, and based on this evidence they are going to take some stopping. Looking at the well, as we get the post-game handshakes, looking at Player of the Game award or possibilities for them. For Manchester, I think I would give it personally to Caitlin LaBelle, who was fantastic, really, in saving so many efforts. It would have been a much higher scoreline without her in net. As for Chelmsford, well, take your pick, really, isn't it? I thought Christina Powell did a steady job on defence. Tilly Howe, Freya Price, they combined so well throughout the game. Izzy Zizzinska with a hat-trick, of course. Yeah, I mean, it could be any one of those. But we shall see. We'll stay on air to bring you that, and I believe there will be a trophy presentation for the Rattlesnakes, having won the Southern Conference Championship, only by a single point in the end from Bristol. Bristol were able to beat them, so that is quite interesting, because obviously that would suggest there's not much between the two sides. There wasn't a great deal between Whitley and Manchester. I know Whitley won convincingly in Manchester, but it was only a 2-goal game in Whitley Bay, and so Whitley Bristol next. Well, we'll see how that one plays out, but based on this, you would see the Southern teams are strong once again. So, Player of the Game awards coming up next. Officials coming over to relay who are going to be the Player of the Game awards. All the numbers, so Colin can announce them. But yeah, we've seen another dominant performance by the Rattlesnakes, and they continue to impress every time they appear at these playoffs in Sheffield. Faye Andrews has the trophy there ready to present as well.
Okay.
But here we go with the Player of the Game awards.
We've got the MVPs, and then we will have the North League trophy and medals to be presented. Sorry, the South League trophy.
Oh, we're going to get the championship presentation first, perhaps. They do like to mix it up, game from game.
It's a long weekend.
It certainly is a long weekend, and it's the games are coming thick and fast like this. Well, we have got the MVPs.
Number 1, Caitlin.
Yeah, Caitlin LaBelle, no surprise there. As I say, the sheer amount of shots, I'd love to see the shots on goal at the end. She faced a lot of rubber there, and well, as I say, you look at that 10-1 scoreline, but how much would it have been without her between the pipes today? Because she did make a lot of saves and made that scoreline much more respectable than it could have been.
It
goes to 27, Carver Jones, and again, no surprise, always a class act whenever I've seen her play. And once again, she led her team well from the very first puck drop. A lot of singing coming from the Chelmsford fans, singing Carver's name. So now we have the championship medals and caps being presented by League President Faye Andrews. And what a season it's been. It's not easy to win back-to-back championships like that, and Chelmsford did find it much more competitive in the league this year. As I say, Bristol ran them close. Haringey Hounds and the Ice Bees were also in contention for playoff berths. So it was a much more competitive battle at the top end of the table in the south, but in the end it was Chelmsford who won the league. And that experience, you feel, will stand them in good stead over this weekend. They're already in the final, and I would suspect they'll be favourites to win it tomorrow, but we shall see who they will be facing. It would be nice to get a North versus South final of the two champions. It's been a couple of years since we had that, when Swindon played Kingston here 2 years ago. On that occasion it was Kingston who won. but it would. I think it would be a fantastic game if it was Whitley Chelmsford. A lot of good, talented players on both sides. Bristol a little bit similar to Manchester in that it's their first appearance, but Carver Jones then lifting the trophy, and the Chelmsford Rattlesnakes celebrate their league title success. And very well done to them. Also joining them is Eliza Smith, who was injured. Wearing it's a Freeland jersey, but she was injured coming into the playoffs, so was unable to play. But good to see her teammates there celebrating with her. We'll leave you with these pictures then of Chelmsford celebrating. Congratulations to them once again, and we'll see them in action tomorrow. We'll be back with you very shortly for the second semi-final.